and I'm going to discuss something here. Maybe they did know, but I got a very major hearing problem in my right ear. I guess the only way you could understand how much of a loss I have in my right ear, put your television up to a normal listening level, okay, the volume, and just judgment, which you think is a normal listening, and turn it about halfway down. That's about pretty much what I hear. Now, if somebody just suddenly had a hearing loss, like boom, 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 one, two, three, they'd feel really uncomfortable. They'd feel like somebody poured cement in their ear, and it would be really an uncomfortable situation, guaranteed. Guaranteed. This is what I've been living with for decades and decades, and it's not been easy for me. I know a lot of people says I have a good speaking voice, and that's kind of amazing in itself because you have to listen to yourself in order to articulate. Sometimes I don't. It's according what the words are, but I think I do a pretty good job. In fact, I actually surprised myself, to be quite honest with you. I really do. So one of my dreams, as late in age as I am, is to have some kind of restorative hearing. I remember I sent away for this toy. That's all it was. It was an amplifier. $10. What do you want, right? And all it is a simple little amplifier. It doesn't do nothing. Because a real hearing aid has to be geared toward your frequency loss, okay, and digital technology. But I don't know if there's hope for that ear because I had what you call a mastoid infection when I was a kid. I don't know, 13. I don't know how old I was. Going back a long time. And it was a bad infection. I had pus coming out of my ear. Went in there, and ENT doctor said, "Oh, you got to have an operation. That infection out. They have to cut the back of my ear open a little bit. Big shit." Okay, so they supposedly got all the bacterial cells out of there, but they apparently didn't do a good job of it. So it came back, and I had to go under the knife again. Oh, nice, right? Nice, right? Okay. Okay, but what they found was that later on, I think I had three operations, if I'm not mistaken. I know there was three. The last one, well, one of them, I don't know, three at least. And I know that they found out that the hearing bones were pretty much destroyed. You got what they call the anvil stirrup and whatever. And they were pretty much destroyed by the infection. Yeah, imagine that. So what they did is they put these little artificial bones in there as a replacement, very delicate because your facial nerve is right there. And well, that's right. I don't know, maybe four operations. God, it's been a long time. So basically, when they were destroyed, they weren't conducting the right hearing. So I went in again, and they were going to try. And this was even in Hawaii. And I went to Queens Medical Center in Oahu, over in the Waikiki area, and they would give it a try. They put these. Well, actually, the artificial bones were in there already. But they went in there and they seen that these bones were practically just hanging there. These little artificial replacements. And it was holding, so they didn't want to mess with it because it was too close to the facial nerve. So that was it, really. And and nobody would operate on me again because it's just too delicate. So unless they could actually formulate some kind of a hearing aid that'll conduct the proper frequencies that I'm at a loss with, then no hearing aid is going to work. So if you didn't know that, and I've been going through this, for decades, and yeah, it's been bothersome. I'm out in a crowd, and everything gets drowned out in the crowd. If I'm talking to you at a table, I don't know, let's a fictitious situation, whatever. We're at the mall on an outdoor table of a restaurant, and you know how loud in a mall is, okay? All that ambient noise, it really interferes with me hearing somebody next to me. And especially if you're not on the good ear, that side, then I'm not going to be able to understand you that well. So, yeah, I've gone through this all my life. And that would be the miracle that I would need, is to restore my hearing. It would be such an incredible thing. So I'm going to look into it. You got to go, you got to go for hearing tests again. You got to give me your paperwork and what was done. Thank goodness I have the paperwork, procedures that were done and all that. And but I just don't really see that happening. They can't go in, they won't go in, and I probably wouldn't want them to go in there because it would be too dangerous. And by the way, the infection was so bad that if I didn't have an operation on there, I could have got meningitis, could have got a brain tumor, things like that. So it was serious, quite serious. But, I come from a family, taking Alka-Seltzer solves all, Just you got these old school here. I wouldn't like wearing those big old things around your ear. I mean, I feel self-conscious about that. And you shouldn't, because if something helps you hear, what do you care what it looks like? But they have these small things that fit in your ear canal. It's no big deal. Hey, I'd wear that. If you restore hearing in my ear to where it should be, oh, fuck yeah. You don't know what a problem that's been with me. Okay. Even following directions. I've had some jobs where they're telling me to do something and I couldn't hear them correctly. And I was too embarrassed to say that I couldn't hear them. Right? It's happened a couple of times. Then I'd have to tell them, look, man, I really got some bad hearing. Da 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 da. Reminds you of a funny story. Well, a friend of mine, ex-friend of mine, he had this girlfriend who used to wear a hearing aid. It probably wasn't a real good one, And he was going to, get intimate with her when he was. And all of a sudden, her hearing aid was kind of heterodyning, making a kind of a buzzing sound or a high-pitched sound. He just couldn't go through it with her because he had to listen to that sound coming from the hearing aid. But I could understand why that was a problem. Not that it's funny to have any hearing problems. I'm not saying that, but I think the situation was funny. He goes, I can't do this with her anymore because she's got that hearing aid. I got to hear this buzzing in there or something. Yeah, I guess that could be a problem, That actually could. So, God, it's a hot one out there, man. Jesus Christmas. It's really a hot one out there. But when is it not hot? Like I said, the Philippines has some wonders. I mean, it's a good place. But as I said, you have to be able to acclimate to the weather out here. And if you're a person that likes temperate weather, well, ain't the place. If you grew up in Alaska, or I'll say some cold places, well, yeah, this will be a far stretch that you definitely have to acclimate to. That's for damn sure. It's not for everybody, guys, So, but that's why I like that creature comfort, because, hey, look, if I'm going to be living out here, I want to be comfortable. That's bottom line. I don't care how much it costs. Air conditioning, whatever, fans, whatever. I want to be comfortable. Why should I sweat it out? I'm not going to live in a Cuba. I mean, sorry, but I'm not going native out here. You get older, man. You screw that shit. You want comfort in your life. You don't want to live in some little shit apartment. You know what I mean? It does you good. That's fine. But I couldn't live in a small little apartment, and I could not certainly live in a place that didn't have a good air conditioner in it, because that would be like critical for me. What's happening, Cal? You're the only one that's got the guts to come on and write something on here. They think I'm going to bite their nose or something. Some of them I would bite their nose if I could, but can't physically do that, So yeah, if most people don't know, and I think a lot of people, I've talked about it, and I think my speech is actually incredible in light or in lieu of the fact that I have half my hearing gone or more in one of my ears. It's amazing, really. Vladimir Hearing Center is where I go. It's near Cavite. Just sent my prescription to the U.S. and had the device shipped to me. Well, our hearing problems could be different. Now, remember, I had a massive infection, a mastoid, and they had to drill into the mastoid bone in the skull. The infection even got into that. It was really bad. It was really bad. So I had what you call a it was a mastoid infection, but it was a octomy. Let me see. What was the procedure? There was basically a small infection mass in there that they had to remove. Okay. Yeah. The guys just didn't do a good job the first time. They had to go in again and blah, 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 and all this shit. So, I don't know. I might have had 4 operations, 4 procedures. I know 3 at least. It's been a long while. How exactly that went in the procedure when I got these replacement. Now, apparently this replacement anvil stirrup and whatever the hell is not really working well. But it's kind of phooey for me because I think it's in a place where they just can't fart with it. It's too close to the facial nerve. And I'd be taking a chance you can get paralysis. If they fuck up that facial nerve. So we don't want to mess with that. But I don't know if there's actually any kind of hearing aid that would conduct the bone hearing that I need. A real hearing aid is based on your frequency loss, modern digital technology, not just a radio amplifier. This thing I got there, it was just $10 playing around with it. Probably give it away. I don't know what did I think I was getting, but I just thought I'd kind of fart with it. And I tried it on my good air, and it amplifies that. But it's more just I can't explain it, man. No, I don't even know if there's a hearing aid that would actually work. There is something called oh gosh, I can't think what that is. They do a replacement of something. It would require an operation, but I don't think I'm going to mess with anything like that. So Lademia, Ledesmia. Yeah, it's in Cavite. I'm a long way from there. I sent my prescription to the U.S. So you could send a prescription to the U.S. to buy something like that? Or it's okay, well, let's hear it. It's near Cavite. Sent my prescription. So they gave you a prescription, and you had to send your prescription to the U.S. and had the device problem. So what was your loss and whatnot? I'm just curious. Interesting. I guess you could. I don't know if they're willing to ship. As long as you're paying for something, I guess they will.